Hi there makers, this is Jo here today and we are going to be taking a look at some sewing tools. The product that I'm showing you today is a Prym Mini Steam Iron, and it could be something that's on your wish list, or it could be something that you already own and you want to double check some special features. If you're starting out in sewing and you've only got a small space to work, then a mini iron might be just the thing that you need. It's easy to skip pressing your seams open because you don't have a full working space to have an ironing board out and your sewing machine, or sometimes it's just a bit onerous to keep getting your ironing board out. But with a mini iron you can set up a little pressing station that's quick and easy. First up, let's take a look at what's included in the UK plug package for a Prym Mini Iron. This one is the UK plug version, and inside you will have the iron, a little watering jug to fill up the steamer, a drawstring carry case, and your plug included. There's also a set of instructions. Size wise, the sole plate on this mini iron is 13 centimetres long by 7.5 centimetres wide. You can flip this iron between 110 volts and 240 volts, so make sure you've got the correct one for your setup. And there is a steam setting. In order to prepare it for steam setting, you need to open the little rubber tab at the top and use the measuring jug to fill your iron. You don't have to have it full. You can put in as much as you need. It's a good idea to have your iron empty when it's not being used. This button on the top is the steam button. That will turn it off and turn it on again. And now that it's on and you've got water inside, you'll need to use the little feet on the bottom to stand your iron up. When not in use, you don't want to leave it down because the sole plate is hot. The two little dots on the top are the water gauges, so you can see when it's full, and you'll have a little line of water there moving up through that little window. Let's have a go with the steam. You don't pump the steam button like you might do on another iron. If the steam is on, then steam will be coming out of these 4 holes here. You can change your temperature, so there's an arrow at the bottom. I'm on max at the moment, so you can see I'm just getting a little bit of steam around here. And that's ideal for pressing seams open. Here I've unpicked some quilting. I can steam out the creases and I can also press the seam. Your iron should be off when you fill it with water. Of course, the joy of a mini iron is that you've got a place to iron onto, so you can use a ironing mat, you can get felt mats, quilted mats, but you need something that you can be sure is heat resistant when you use your iron on it. It's great for setting up your sewing machine and then your little mini iron with your mat next to you, so you don't have to keep stopping and starting or setting up an ironing board. I'm doing a bit of quilting today. I'm working on a quilt with 10 centimetre squares. I've got the ironing set up on the right because the cable is coming out of the right of the machine, so it's easier if you're right-handed to have it on the right hand side. I'm using it to make sure the fabric is flat before I sew. And then I can make sure that the seam is pressed from the right side, and I can press the seams open on the wrong side, meaning my quilt topper will be nice and flat and smooth. It's a really good way of making sure you make effective use of your sewing time. It might be that you like to take sewing on holiday, so the travel iron is really nice and small. And it's also useful to take to retreats and sew-alongs where you can have your own little ironing station. Without water, the iron is 500 grams. To accompany the mini iron, there is also a carry case if you want to do some travelling with your iron, and also there is a mat which is made of silicone to rest your iron on. A mini iron is ideal for small features in your dressmaking. So here I'm making a little grandad stand-up collar, using the iron just to press up the seam allowance. I can be quite accurate there, and now I'm ready to turn it out. I can use it in quite small spaces. It's got a rubber grip around the handle so that I can be quite controlled with it. It's ideal for tricky places to get to, like the tips of collars, or if you want to get a particular pleat in a place. And it's ideal if you're the sort of person who sews in 30-minute pockets of time, because you can get plenty of sewing done and not so much of the getting the equipment out. It's ideal if you just want to make a little feature and move forward on your project. Today, I'm just going to make the collar. The mini iron is really good for other small areas, so when you're trying to turn quite a small seam allowance. So here's a pocket example. Just going to turn the top down and then use the iron to carefully fold in the sides, which can sometimes be a little bit tricky when you've got a large iron and you're trying to see what you're folding. Again, it means you can do parts of the pattern in small pockets of time without having so much setup, and you can get little bits of progress made quite easily. You might also be using your iron to create curved shapes and smaller intricate shapes if you're doing applique or you're adding any kind of applique or shape to a pattern. It means you have much more control and you can create curved edges. It's a good idea to empty the iron of any spare water at the end so that it doesn't scale up on the inside. And then you're ready to wind up the cable, and it just sits in there to keep the plug in place. Make sure your iron's clean before you put it away into the drawstring bag. I like to keep the instructions with mine, and also the water pot. Then you're all ready to go again. If you do want to choose an iron, do make sure that you get the one with the correct plug. So there is a 2-pin option. This one has a 2-pin plug, but you can put an adapter to take it to a 3-pin. Or if you're in the UK, then make sure you get the 3-pin plug option so that you've got the correct plug to get going as soon as you get it. I hope you have found that helpful, and you can always come back to this video if you get a Prym iron and you want to double check how to set up. Today I am wearing the Sew Over It Ultimate Shift dress, but this one is the top version. It's in a print called Vivid Blooms, and this one is in a crepe back satin. So the back is bubbly like crepe, and the front has a beautiful satin finish with this lovely chestnut colour in the background and lots of vibrant abstract vivid blooms. It's a really good way of having a little bit of everyday luxury. Thank you very much for watching, and if you want to check out some more tools, then do go over to Minerva's YouTube channel and check out our videos there. There are learn to sew ones, tool ones, pattern drafting, fabric chit chat, pattern pairing, and anything new that's out in the sewing community. We'd love to see you there. So